And we're live. We're live. I'm here live with Barcus Patty from Helium 10. My name's Jacob Topping. I'm in Canada. Barcus is in Alabama along the south coast of the southern U.S. where it borders the Gulf Coast of the ocean, part of the Atlantic Ocean on the east side. Barcus,
yes.
Before we get into the excitement of tonight's call, because this is a live call, so anybody watching can leave comments. And if you're watching the replay, I expect the first thing you're going to do is like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your mom, everything. All the places. This video is going to be everywhere. So if you're live, send us comments live. And if you're watching the replay, just put the comments in the replay, and I will personally read all of your comments, and many of them I'll respond to. Possibly all of them. But I can't make it guaranteed because that could be millions, but we'll see. So Barcus, thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to give you a moment to introduce yourself, and during that time, I'm going to give you the whole screen, so it'll be all Barcus Patty time. And the reason for that is I'm going to share this in a couple of closed Facebook groups for my private members, which have online businesses. One of them, if you're interested, is called FBA Top Sellers for Newbies and Pros. And it's like Amazon FBA sellers mainly. There's around 14,000 plus members there. And then the second group that I'd like to share this with live is the Merch by Amazon Top Sellers for Newbies and Pros. And that is a larger group. It's around more than 20,000 members. So they're all online sellers. I think that the content you have tonight is fantastic and will help them. And I will share this live stream with them while you talk about yourself, because you know yourself better than I do. So
I hope so.
Oh, imagine if I knew you better than you did. That would be just weird, strange, right?
It's not unimaginable, though.
Yeah, it is in the realm of possibility.
It is.
Okay, so I will give you the screen here, and I will be back shortly. And I'm still here, even though you can't see me. I'll still be here, so we can still chat. So if you're watching live, please leave a comment below. Let us know where you're from. Let us know how you heard about this Barcus or the live stream tonight. And if you've been following along, we do a live stream every single day between now and the Prosper Conference, which is in Las Vegas. And this has been happening for 8 days. So there's at least 8 live streams you can check out with only the best people like Barcus. So Barcus, tell the people why you're the best and about yourself, and I'll be right back.
I don't know if I can top that intro. So
no pressure, Barcus. I'm still here though.
So Barcus Patty, I'm here with Helium 10, a brand evangelist, and I've been with the company almost 2 years. In about 2 or 3 weeks, it'll be 2 years, so that's pretty cool. Before that, I was with a previous Amazon software company. I was there for about 4 years. And so I've been in the Amazon community as a software provider for a little over 6 years. I've also been selling off and on for about 6 years. I sold on Etsy for a little bit, eBay for a little bit too in the past, and I just sold a business. And then I'm starting on a new venture, and I'm still working with Helium 10. So yeah, I've been around for a little bit. I know a couple of things, I would like to think. Always happy to hang out with Jacob too. Looking forward to, last time me and Jacob hung out was actually in Vegas. And that was a couple of years ago, pre-COVID. And I'm excited to see him and a bunch of other people soon.
That was a very exciting time that we had. It wasn't just you and I. There was a whole bunch of people. Many people were hanging out together in Las Vegas.
It was your entourage.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's true. There was a group of people. Okay. So that's how long it takes me to share one. So I'll come on and say hi real quick. I'm still here. That was a good introduction, Barcus, about yourself. You have sold your company since we had last met and talked. The company that you sold, can we disclose what it was?
Yeah, so I didn't sell it in the traditional sense that everybody is doing these days, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So I sold beard oil. I actually made it and manufactured. I created all the scents and created the formulas. manufactured it and packaged it and everything. And I held on to it for about 5 years, and essentially just I lost the passion in it. So I sold kind of the guts of it. I still actually hold a trademark that is kind of ambiguous. It's not just for that company, so they don't have the trademark, but they got the emails and the email automation. They got all my lists, and they got some marketing flows, and they got the formulas and that kind of stuff.
What's the IP that you kept? What did you keep?
Just it was a logo and the name. So so they basically took all the guts and acquired all that kind of stuff and for their brand. So
did they absorb it into an existing brand, or like what was the nature of the
they just took all that, and I sent out like an email saying like, hey, I'm kind of shutting things down and blah 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 blah, and you know, this new company will you know, you'll be hearing from them, blah 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 blah. So it was just for that internal list. So it wasn't anything fancy. It wasn't a 7 or 8 figure deal or anything like that. But I just I lost some passion in it, and as I grow older, I just want to do things that make me happy. And it got to a point where I couldn't do everything myself anymore. So I couldn't scale it. And it was always bootstrapped, which I kind of enjoy that aspect of a business, but just kind of, you know, I was just kind of tired of it, to be honest with you. So
fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
So Barcus, that you sold the beard company. You still kept your glorious beard.
Yes.
And I have a beard also now, which I also had before when we met, but some things have changed. Some things are the same. Now, I understand that you just had a baby recently. Like,
I didn't have one. My wife had one.
Well, she had your baby.
I don't know how things happen in Canada, but in the
was
US.
the baby that your wife had your baby or not?
Yes.
Here, today on the live stream. This is where Barcus is like, Jacob, damn it, I didn't mention it, but it's actually someone else's baby that my wife had. Damn it, why did he bring that up? Okay, I'm just kidding.
Legally, it's my baby. Yeah.
All right. You have a legal baby. So that's good. And you added it to your collection of kids that you've got?
Yes. Yes. I have 4.
You have 4 kids.
Yes. He's also referred to as the last one.
Ooh, the last child.
The last child.
It sounds like a movie title.
Could be.
Barcus,
yeah.
The last one. All right, so let's, if people don't know about you or about the company that you're working with now, it's Helium 10. This is the shocker because it's in the posts.
We were hiding it the whole time.
Yeah, some people have heard of Helium 10. Some people have not. Some people are just imagining. The people that don't know about it, they're like, oh, what is Helium 10? I wonder if it has to do with party balloons. So can you tell people what is Helium 10? What does that mean? And what's your role with Helium 10? Let's have a chat about it. What is it?
Yeah. So we're an Amazon software provider. We provide software automation for businesses selling on Amazon. We have a wide range of tools, everything from PPC to inventory management, keyword tracking, and it's going pretty well. We have a lot of tools. I think we do a lot of things really, really well. We have the wide range of tools is everything from product research. It's great for somebody who doesn't know anything about selling anything online, and it still fits the needs of, well, I've been selling for 2 or 3 years and I'm doing 5, 6 figures, 7 figures monthly. And I really need some tools to automate a lot of decisions or manual actions that I might previously do.
Now, when I first heard about Helium 10, it was a long time ago. And you just mentioned that it does PPC, helps with product research, listings, creating listings, and some automation. So there was a point in time when Helium 10 was made up of 10 component programs or applications. Is that still the case, or is it beyond that now? Or what has changed with Helium 10 over time?
I've lost count of how many tools we have now. I think we're 27 or 28 individual tools now.
Wow. So it's beyond the 10 now.
Yeah. So we've grown quite quickly in the past couple of years. We've hired some amazing people to help us really get up there, kind of take us to that next level. And it's been going great. So we are always busy.
And so, I mean, if somebody's new to the program or the platform of Helium 10, what would be a way for them to get started, or like how would they learn about what is Helium 10,
Sure.
and why would they want to do that? Why would they want to learn about it?
So you can find out more about us by obviously going to helium10.com. But YouTube, I love our YouTube content because number one, it's free, but number two, there's a lot of education in there. So I think one of the best examples is Project X. So Bradley Sutton and Tim Jordan, and they created a Project X where they go through a process. They did this like late 2019, I believe. And we released the videos early 2020. So this is still fresh content in the realm of Amazon, but they went through and they broke down using the tools to do product research, and they found some abnormal products, and they launched those products, and we're still selling those products. And it's still going well. So it's a good ongoing transparent process of like, this is how you can use our tools. We're not just saying we do really good at these kinds of things. Like we're showing, really some application knowledge of how to use them. So, but yeah, and then the people that we get all the time are constantly hearing about. You're either trying to get into selling something on Amazon, or you've gotten into it. And I'm like, well, I can't do all these manual transactions at once. I need to hire a VA, or maybe some software can help me. So we get a lot of those like, hey, I'm either wanting to sell or I'm just now getting started, and I've got too much on my plate. So, and that's the whole purpose of software in the first place, is to save you time, right? To help make decisions quicker in your business. So I think we do pretty well with that.
So what's an example of how the software can save a seller some time?
So two great examples, and these are two of our most popular tools, but Black Box is a product research tool. So if you're looking to sell a product online, instead of going to Amazon and just kind of browsing through categories and waiting for something to pick your eye, like, oh, well, this might be a cool product. Well, you don't know if it's a cool product because you don't know how many people are selling that product. You don't know what their estimated revenue is. You don't know the stability of that niche. Like maybe this is like garden hoses, for example. Like it's obviously a very seasonal product. Nobody's buying garden hoses in December typically. So but maybe it's a seasonal item you don't know about. Maybe there's a trend. Maybe there's a downward trend. You certainly wouldn't want to get into like fidget spinners in 2018, right? So Black Box can help you really. You can put in a lot of variables, a lot of filters, and say, well, I need a product that's selling, $20,000 to $25,000 or $20,000 to $45,000 a month, because you don't want to sell if you're new, if you're just getting started, unless you have a lot of capital behind you. Maybe you have an investor, or there's a team of group of friends you're getting together, throwing some capital behind it. A lot of people getting into this, like I've saved 5, 10, 15, or 20 grand. You don't want to get into something that's selling $3,000 a month, but you also don't want to try to go after a product that's selling $100,000 a month in the beginning, because you don't have the capital to back up that velocity of sales.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So you can go in there. You can put in like that kind of variable. You can look and say, well, what are the sales of this category of these types of products year over year? Maybe you want to find a product that's doing about 4 stars, because it's that you can find some products that maybe you find a niche product that the entire most of your competition, they don't have good main images, or maybe their reviews are okay, but you can come in there and definitely be like, I can see where I can improve the listing instantly and really stand out. So there's tons of ways to go in there, and instead of you poring over and looking at all this data manually and making some guesses, in a matter of a couple of minutes, you've got some results. And then you can still filter that down and filter that down and filter that down. And then also CERYBRO, which is what we call a reverse ASIN tool. So you plug in any ASIN within Amazon, and it will bring back all the keywords that product is indexing for. It'll tell you if it's indexing or ranking. And the great thing about that is you can put any ASIN in there. So every product that is selling on Amazon has an ASIN. And you can go in here, you can see that you might be able to identify some keywords to improve your listing. Well, I didn't know that people were searching using these search terms to find these types of products. So then you can apply that to your listing, but that also helps with product research too, is you can go in here and very quickly get a lot of data points condensed down, and it's aggregated into a very digestible amount of information, if that makes sense. Like instead of looking at a spreadsheet, spreadsheets are like, okay, wow, this makes sense, and I can quickly make some decisions. So,
I'm going to pause you right there, because we're talking about reverse ASIN tools and CERYBRO, and that's one of the components of Helium 10. You're obviously very clear and concise about the parts of Helium 10 and what they do and what they're called, and with Amazon listings as well. So you are the brand evangelist for Helium 10. That's your role in the company, right?
Correct.
But we also have live viewers who have some comments. And first of all, we just want to make sure that everybody knows, if you're watching live, you can make a comment. We will most definitely show it, even if it takes a moment, because sometimes there's a delay, and sometimes we're just right into it. So we'll kind of go through them as we go. So I'll just pause you on that CERYBRO. Rana Singh says, yo. Now, do you know Rana?
I don't know who this is. Get this troll out of here. I'm kidding. No, he's a dear friend of mine.
Gone. Forget it, Rana. You're banned. Banned for life. No more live streams.
He'll be at Prosper. I'll introduce you to you guys. He's
kicked out of all the groups. Hammered.
Yes.
And friend delete.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. I love Rana. Rana's from Canada. Rana was he actually got to the Miami event. And before we even get into that, were you in Miami at this thing that happened there?
No. Yeah, our baby.
But you heard about it, right?
Our last baby is only 2 months old, so that was about a month ago. It's a little too late. It's a little too early for me to venture out.
All right. So. Other live comments. So Rana Singh says, Jacob loves the realms of possibility, infinite, no end, no beginning. This is true. This is a true thing. I really like what is possible, and it's true that anything is possible. Just do it. McLean Warren, who was a live stream guest recently this week, a few days ago, said that Tim Jordan and Norm Farr have nothing on your guys' beard. So,
Norm has got us beat. Tim,
in length, but what about the soul of the beard? What about the vibrancy, the usability?
Norm's beard is majestic. It's like a unicorn. Tim, you've got some work to do. I'm just saying. I love you, but you got some catching up to do.
Okay, and Norm, I should point out, not only was McLean on a recent live stream, but so was Norm. Norm was doing a live stream here with me, I believe, yesterday. It's amazing how much time can seem like a long time, and time can seem like moments, like fast, right? And to me, even though we just spoke yesterday, I feel like it was a longer time ago, which is bizarre because it was like yesterday. Like one day ago, we were doing a live stream. Rana says, Battle of the Beards, tag team your Royal Rumble in Vegas. Possible, not probable, but possible. And this is a reference to another live stream that I'd done earlier this week. So if you're not catching all the references, Rana has been pretty much all the live streams. And by watching them all in sequential order, you will get all of his inside jokes. It's fantastic. Ask Barcus to talk about the newest H10 tool, Abdulanga Optimizer. So
it's still in beta.
He brings up a good point. So Helium 10, when it was bought and sold, right? It was originally created by Manny Coates, correct? But back in the day, back before it got huge and hired everybody and made everything.
Manny Guillermo, yeah.
Yeah, and so at that point, it was called Helium 10 because there was 10 tools within it. And then, as we mentioned earlier in the conversation, now there's around 27, 28 tools in Helium 10. And you mentioned two of them, Black Box, which helps you to research new products, and also CERYBRO, which allows you to do a reverse ASIN tool. And that's where we left off before we went to the comments, because there were new comments that were not yet, fully answered. So if you're watching live, feel free to ask questions. And Barcus will definitely have something to say about them.
So
all right. So but in all seriousness, Rana wants to know about the Abdullah Blogger Optimizer, and you mentioned that it is currently under development.
It's still in beta. I can't talk about it. It's a
Okay.
private beta.
How about the last publicly released component of Helium 10? Like, because it is coming out with new components all the time. That's a good point that Rana makes.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be something that has recently come out with Helium 10?
We've had a couple of things. So we're always pushing out stuff, several things at a time. So I want to go through here and make sure that I'm correct, but I'm going to go through and pick a few things. So I know that there's a couple of things with. So we actually teamed up with a company called PICKFU. We have a great relationship with them, and we created a tool called Audience. And Audience is essentially PICKFU, but it allows you to. So what PICKFU does, for those who don't know, and you can go to their website, PICKFU.com. But what you can do is kind of build an audience and with our tool and about decisions. It's another form of split testing. So there's two ways to split test: it's before and while you have a listing live. So the way PICKFU does it is you can take bits and pieces and say, hey, does this market segment like this main image better? So maybe you sell baby related items, right? Maybe some blankets or socks, whatever. You're probably
let's say you're Paul Barron. Let's say you're Paul Barron.
There you go. Yeah.
Baby
Well,
products,
You probably want to target women.
Yeah.
Most guys don't care I don't care what the blankets look like. If my wife and my kid are happy, I don't care. So those kind of things, you're probably going to target women. So with PICKFU, you can go through, and Helium 10, you can go through here and say, I want to target moms, and I want it for females, and I want to target, certain age and those kind of things, like, and say, what do you like? So based on market research, you can put up the best image, title, and those kinds of things. And then there's a traditional way of split testing, and it's just different, where you can actually go through and run different tests while the listing is running. And there's several ways to do that as well. So that's kind of what Audience is about. We also
I'm going to pause you there. So let's say he's got two products, right? And he has one product with two different listings on Amazon, and he wants to run one against the other live on Amazon. He can use Audience through Helium 10 to do that? Or like how logistically would that actually work? What exactly happens?
So with audiences, we're using PICKFU's audience. Like their audience so you're creating this. It's not going live on Amazon and then people are looking at it there. So you're using that internal audience. But you get to use.
So this is a pre-listing tool. So it's not listed on Amazon, and you want to use PICKFU as a gauge before you make your listing on Amazon.
Yeah, I know I'm not explaining it the best, so my apologies. But yeah, so it's just a different form of split testing. That's all. So instead of changing your listing on Amazon and then waiting for Amazon's traffic to decide what they like better, like instead of going through there and messing with your conversion rate, stuff like that, you can do it with a kind of more of an internal audience, your own internal audiences, and make those decisions.
So you'd use the Helium 10 audience tool.
Yes.
And have an existing audience, which happens to be supplied by PICKFU, to rate and comment about your potential listings. And then that would help you to build a better listing for when you actually add it to Amazon. Is that basically it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, so just to give you an idea, some of the places we're sharing this, there's like 35,000 online sellers. There's a wide range, right? Both groups are called newbies and pros, but essentially there's online sellers that are just getting started and they're not really sure, they haven't made a listing yet. And then there's others that are very experienced and maybe have like multiple brands and, brand registry and using DSP and PPC and all kinds of multi-channel, omni-channel situations and everything. So that's why I kind of want to try to summarize and clarify each thing so that it's clear exactly what is this, what does it do, how does it work? If we're going to talk about it, right? So let me ask you a different question. Helium 10, I've seen used very heavily within Amazon Marketplace, right? So Amazon.com. I'm sure that Helium 10 also works on other international marketplaces like Amazon.ca, Amazon. Mexico, Japan, Europe, all across Europe, all around the world, right? So that's true. Can Helium 10 be used to make listings across different marketplaces, so non-Amazon marketplaces, for example, Shopify or Walmart,
Sure.
you know, Etsy, eBay, etc.?
So I know that there's talks of all the possibilities. Right now, we're looking into tools to build for Walmart. That's the next natural progression for us. So we actually hired a brand evangelist, the latest one, Carrie Miller. She's learning all about Walmart and looking to see like what tools can we develop, you know, and what tools should we develop, and taking some market research and market feedback, and then trying to build the best tools for that marketplace. Yeah. That's all in early development, so please don't ask me when any tools are coming out. Please, I don't want any questions because I don't even know. I know that we're just looking into it. We're doing a ton of research right now.
That's good. Now, what about Shopify? Does Helium 10 have any Shopify integrations or existing tools specifically for that platform?
Not yet.
Is it primarily just Amazon? It'd be Amazon and then Walmart next.
Yeah, nothing for Shopify. I know that we're looking at it, but nothing right now. So, but I mean, 6 months from now, it could be a very different conversation. Who knows?
Okay. So the reason I ask is there's about 20,000 people here for print on demand, and I sell on print on demand, which you know because you've seen me at the conferences and things with my book, The Merch and the World of Print on Demand by Jacob Topping. And one of the things that I talk about in there is listing designs across multiple marketplaces and multiple channels, right? And it's become very apparent that Helium 10 is so good on Amazon that you could essentially use Helium 10 from Amazon to extract the best of keywords and then use those on other platforms, right? So this is something that people are actively doing. They're signing up for Helium 10, using the service to create the ultimate Amazon listing, and then using some of that listing details to cross-list across other marketplaces, right? So whether it's Etsy, eBay, like you mentioned on Walmart, Shopify through their own portal, even the marketplace platforms, right? So Redbubble, Zazzle, Teespring, Teechip, you know, there's all kinds of them. I cover like 40 of them in my book, right? And so I'm really interested to know, from your perspective, would you say it's fair to say that there are tools within Helium 10 that would be applicable across any listing? They're not just 100% for Amazon, even though you tailor it to Amazon, but the data that you get from that, it could be used elsewhere, right?
Well, yeah. So, and we know that people will, you know, if they're selling on Walmart, there's nothing for Walmart. There's nothing. There's actually some tools for Etsy, and those are actually pretty interesting. But but yeah. So I mean, I think the basics of product research and keyword research and listing creation, I think that can apply. Like you can take probably 75% of it. You know, everybody has a different architecture. So like Etsy, for example, they don't have a back end to put keywords in. They have tags, and you can have like 13 or maybe more now. So eBay is very different. Walmart is obviously very different. So a lot of the architecture of like bullet points and description and back end terms that we're all very familiar with on Amazon, everybody's just a little bit different. But I think the basics of a title and a description, and then your basic keyword research definitely can apply to almost any listing, wherever you want to sell it.
Yeah, so the data that you have access to through Helium 10 could be used to build listings. The data itself would, I guess, be specific to Amazon at the moment, but that could be used for omni-channel listings elsewhere too, right?
Yeah, I mean, so it is Amazon-specific data, but at the same time, like it's consumer data. You know, like if consumers are searching for these types of things on Amazon, it's for a lot of products, we can assume that they're searching on eBay or Walmart or even Etsy. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's all tailored for businesses selling on Amazon. But yeah, I mean, we've known for a while that people have been using these tools to build listings for a long time. Do product research as well.
I think that's exciting. Like personally, I love Amazon, and I happen to also love other platforms, right? Like I really like Shopify a lot. I really like Walmart. We use Walmart for different reasons here. Yeah, it's very popular in Canada. So I think using Helium 10 to garner some consumer data, right? Because Amazon's so massive, and you can get data from different countries. You can click on, .com.ca. You can break it down by location, and that location data, Amazon's large enough that it'll give you a sense of some of the things people are using to find the products, right? And whether that's your product or your competitor's product, or it's an upcoming product that you'd like to get into, there's different possibilities for what you can use it for. It's a very flexible tool. Anyways, we do have some new comments here. Rana Singh, and I popped it up for a second there, he asks, with Helium 10 audience tool, and this is good because he's listening to the tools, can we split test your beard style? So let's say you wanted to split test some observations using the audience tool. Could somebody like Rana split test our beard styles, Norm's, Tim's, Barcus, and Jacob?
I mean, you could split test anything. So yeah, I guess so.
100% Rana. I encourage you to do that. Now,
I've come in at a solid 5th.
Does H10, I'm guessing he means Helium 10 when he says H10, does it work with OnlyFans listings too? Rana, as Barcus just said, you could split test anything. Right? You could split test like controversial things, not controversial things, products, surveys. But I think what he's asking really, the heart of his questions are maybe, Barcus, like
omni-channel.
What is the breadth of the audience that you get access to? Like, like 10 people or 100 people, 100,000 people?
I mean, honestly, there's millions of data points here. So yeah, to his underlying question, so like here's something very applicable to this topic. If I was going to create so right now there's no keyword tools for Walmart. Not that I know of. That doesn't mean anything. What I would do right now is I would look at Helium 10 data. I would look at and also Google Trends just to see what types of, like, put in a lot of trending keywords from Amazon, from Helium 10 into Google Trends and try to get some, is there any correlating data? And then I'd look at the autocomplete on Walmart as well. And then I would try to make some decisions there. So you get 3 data points, 3 sources of data, and then hopefully you have there's some overlapping data there. Like these, maybe you find like out of the top 10 keywords on Amazon, there's 3 that are those same 3 overlap into Google Trends and then also into Walmart. Then you're like, okay, these are the 3 keywords I need to start with on my Walmart list.
That's a good idea. And you could do that with any platform. You could grab data from basically Amazon and PICKFU data points using Helium 10 for whatever area you're interested, whether it's a keyword, whether it's a niche, whether it's a product, whether it's images, sampling, whatever you want, right? Then you can take that information and you can use Google tools and other tools, right? Uber Trends as well. Google Trends. You could use Google Images, reverse search by image if you wanted to test an image and see where it's used or where it's not used. I do talk about that in my book. But you could actually use Helium 10 as an input tool to broaden the scope of what you're already thinking of, and then plug that into Google Trends and essentially use that across any marketplace, whether it's Shopify or Walmart or Etsy, eBay, Rakuten, Tmall, T-Chip,
absolutely,
Dazzle, anywhere. Okay, good. So who do you think benefits the most in general from using Helium 10? Like, who are your heaviest hitters in terms of they rely on Helium 10 and without it, their business would fall apart?
Oh, man.
In general, like what category of people tend to use it the most?
We always have a huge network, a huge customer base of people that are beginning, maybe like the 0 to 2 year life cycle. And I think when it's and a lot of those people are a one-person show. So if you're just starting out, if you find something that works for you, then it's hard to give that up. Even if it costs money, it's hard to give that thing up if you know that it might save you 4 or 5 hours a week, or maybe 8 hours, maybe more, depending on how many listings you have, how many SKUs you have. At the same time, we've talked to companies like Lego. We have a partnership with them, and the guy that's running their listings on Amazon, he's like, it's been incredible. And we actually they did a podcast last year with that guy. Can't remember his name, so my apologies. So I'm just saying, like, I think that the more listings that you have, so it's great for somebody as a one-man show, but the more listings you have, the more that it also helps there too. So it does kind of help you as you scale. So and you get to a certain point where you're like, I either have to buy software or hire people, and maybe you have to do both. So
does it have the ability to use virtual assistants or other staff that you've got in your organization to use multiple accounts within Helium 10? Is that an option available?
Yeah, so based on the plan that you have, you can have just seats, additional seats, and where they can come in and you can add them. Like I could add you to my account and you could have access to just a few things. So maybe I want to hire a VA just for product research. You could have them just have access to like Blackbox and Trendster and CERYBRO and maybe the X-Ray, the Chrome extension. So that way they couldn't see your plan details and maybe they couldn't see your PPC data.
So you have that kind of level of control with Helium 10 now where you can have a seat. That's what the terminology you guys use, seats. And you could have a virtual assistant or you could have a permanent staff member, etc. Maybe you want to hire somebody for a specific project or a new product launch or brand creation, or maybe you're working with an agency and you want to have them hop into your Helium 10 account temporarily or permanently, whenever, right? Yep. So you can control what they have access to, which tools they use, and essentially, from what I'm hearing, you're only, as the user of Helium 10, you're really only charged for what you're using. Is that correct?
Well, no, if you get into some of our enterprise plans, then that's a different story. But we have our 3 core plans. We've got our platinum plan, we've got our diamond, and our elite plan. So those kind of have like a lot of the tools have unlimited uses. But my point was, like, again, let's say I hired you, you're a VA, you're an amazing VA, but I only need you to do product research. I can have you just only have access to some of those tools. So again, like maybe I don't want you to see my PPC data, maybe I don't want you to see my plan details, or for whatever that is. There is some customization there when it comes to adding seats onto your account.
I think on another time in a different forum, a different setting, we could actually go through Helium 10 and show people exactly what it is, like the actual software, right? We can do a screen share of it, show people the different components and talk about what they do. Is that something that you would be up for? Is that?
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, I'm happy to do so. We can do it a little bit now if you want. So
no, I don't want to do it right now. I just want people to know about you. This is all about Barcus Patty, and it turned into a Helium 10 conversation, but really, I want people to know about you. And the reason for that is you are going to be in person live in Las Vegas in July, and I'm also going to be there in Las Vegas. And it turns out, you and I were talking today, and it turns out Helium 10 is hosting an event after Prosper. And if people aren't familiar, Prosper is a huge show, seller show.
The day before. It's the night before, Tuesday night.
Perfect. So it's on Tuesday night. And again, our number one commenter, Rana, says, looking forward to the H10 rock out on the record Rager in Vegas. Cheers, with a beer. And so in line with that, we have the ability to share my screen. So I'm going to share a web page, which I think you're going to like, and you've probably seen it before. It is check this out, the Helium 10 presents Rock Out on the Cloud, July 13th, 7 to 10 p.m. So you can see that on the screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And so if somebody wants to go to this, I put a link to this event in the same posting as this live video. But essentially, I'm just going to give some people some quick details here. Helium 10 is heading to Prosper Show 2021, that's this year, in July. And we want to celebrate with you, our amazing Amazon sellers, about the event. So let's kick off the Prosper Show the right way with a party. Join Helium 10 for the Rock Out on Record, the social networking event of the summer. We'll be getting down on the record at Park MGM's newest speakeasy and club. Don't miss the incredible opportunity to sip delicious drinks, listen to your favorite old school jams, and expand your network with other Amazon sellers. Mix, mingle, and dive into the minds of influential thought leaders, attendees, and Helium 10 partners. Meet the team that makes your Amazon data magic happen behind the scenes, including our executive staff and brand evangelists. Now you're a brand evangelist. That's you. We're talking about you there, Barcus.
That's correct.
Party the night away with new friends. Get your backstage pass with all the Amazon before Prosper show even begins. We'll be celebrating with our friends and sponsors, Northbound Group and Xandu, and we'd love to join you. Now, Xandu, is that isn't the CEO of Xandu speaking at the Empowery Women's Conference following Prosper?
I am not sure. Thank you for putting me on the spot. So
no, that's okay. That might be happening, but Northbound Group and Xandu will be there as well. So registration starts July 13th. That is the Tuesday. Is that before Prosper?
Yes. So it's the night before Prosper, Tuesday night, 7 to 10 p.m. Las Vegas time. I think that's PDT.
Yeah, so that's the day before the sessions start, but Prosper does start on the 13th. So Prosper is the 13th, 14th, and 15th, and then the 16th and 17th is the Empowery Women's Conference.
The night before the conference, so all the speaking engagements. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of the first night and or before the first day, depending on when you start.
Yeah.
It's a little tricky there, Barcus, a little tricky. Early bird prices are $39 through May 31st. Now, May 31st, respect to today's time, is in the past, so it's no longer $39. Correct. Now it's $69.
Correct.
$69,000, you could get a Tesla vehicle, but for $69 without the thousands, you can get a ticket to the party. All right, Helium 10 will be working with On the Record and Park MGM to follow all directive CDC guidelines to stop the spread of COVID-19. So help defeat COVID-19 by rocking out on the cloud with Helium 10.
So that's one way to put it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, things can be put different ways. All right, so what exactly is going to be happening at this party? It sounds like it's going to be exciting. You're selling tickets, so you're going to get access to a location, right?
It's a secret location. Oh wait, no, we actually proved it.
Yeah, and then, what is it? Have you been to the Park MGM before?
I don't think I've been to the Park MGM, so this will be a first time for me there. We had a similar event. Man, I can't remember where it was. It was 2 years ago. It's pre-COVID, man. It's been years.
Yeah,
it feels like years.
In the last eon before COVID.
The location is on the record. I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything. They don't tell me anything on purpose because I will leak all the details. I don't know when any new tools are coming out. I don't know. I'm a blabbermouth. They purposely don't do this. It's a speakeasy kind of bar. So it says.
I don't even know what that means. What is that?
You don't know what a speakeasy is?
You let me in.
Okay, so you're from Canada. It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So during Prohibition, which is like in the 1920s when the government tried to outlaw alcohol, that didn't turn out well. There was these things called speakeasies that were kind of like secret bars, and you kind of had to have a secret password, and it was all word of mouth. Well, obviously, it was word of mouth. There was nothing existed except for word of mouth back then. Yeah. But it was very secret. Like you're not telling everybody. And so yeah.
I feel like I'm live streaming this out to thousands of people. That doesn't sound very secretive.
Well, I mean, they call it a speakeasy. Like if you call yourself a speakeasy, you're not a real speakeasy. You know.
Okay.
So.
It's like a secret bar.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be some live music because it's rock out on the record. So we're gonna see. Our graphic has got music going on. I don't know who's gonna play. Who knows? It'll be an interesting time.
It looks like this is made by a graphic designer, and I can see there's a microphone, which to me just screams karaoke. There's circles, which is probably like a record, and then there's headphones, like they could actually be product placement for either of our headphones. Very similar. I'm assuming that means live DJ. And then there's like a picture-in-picture type of thing. I'm assuming that means there's going to be video. There's an arrow, maybe referring to the speakeasy. I see down here there's pool cues.
Yeah.
I mean, speculation could go on infinitely. So let's not speculate. Go to the event and we'll find out, right?
Absolutely.
We'll find out. It'll be a surprise. Which would be kind of fun. All right, and then what? So, are you going to be on the show floor as well at the booth or a table, the Helium 10 at Prosper?
Yeah. So Wednesday and Thursday, we've got a booth. And I'll be there in the morning, Wednesday and Thursday morning.
Okay.
I think from like 8:30 to 11:30. So the best place to find me is at breakfast and lunch. That's when I'm happiest. Is when I'm so.
That's included with the general ticket for Prosper Show. So if you're going to Prosper Show, the breakfast and lunch is part of your ticket. So you'll have access to breakfast and lunch.
I think they have a social after from like 5 to 7 too. I think that I don't know the details on that. So, but yeah, no, come by the booth, come say hey. It'll be fun. Come introduce yourself, or if I know you, come by and say hey anyway. It'll be a great time.
What are some of the top questions that you get as a brand evangelist for Helium 10?
What do you do? Okay. So a lot of what I do is kind of this stuff is like just connecting with my friends that are in the community. I actually do a lot of training internally. Like we did a project in the beginning of the year with me and Karen Thomas, who's another evangelist, and we it was for just our customers, but it was a project of, can we take people that have never sold anything online, and can we take them from here to here? And it was a really interesting project. It didn't work out as well as we wanted to because there was a massive amount of delays at the beginning of the year. I know there's still more delays, but it was really bad in the beginning, and that scared.
You mean like shipping delays, or what are you talking about delays?
Shipping delays.
Okay.
And then also,
and that's still an issue in the US right now, because I ordered some stuff from Amazon.com, and it's like all later than expected, delayed. It'll get there when it gets there.
Customs they take their time.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so the shipping delays kind of did scare people, just kind of made them apprehensive. But then also a Chinese New Year, where the whole country takes off 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes a month. So it was an interesting. We're still kind of following up with some of those people, so that was fun. I do a lot of training internally, and as far as like onboarding calls and some stuff with Freedom Tickets. So, but yeah, so I do a lot.
How about users
of
Helium 10? What sort of things do you hear, or people that are interested in Helium 10? What are some questions that once they find this out, they're like, oh, I didn't realize this could happen, right? This is amazing.
Yeah. So what we get at a lot of events is, I didn't know there was software for that was applicable to me in my business, which is always a fun conversation, because then you get to learn, like, hey, we might feel like we're this big, amazing company. We are, but like, there's a huge amount of people that don't even know about our community, much less the software out there. Like, there's so many people out there selling things on Amazon that aren't in the community. They don't know about you and your groups and Norm and Tim and Plain and all these people that do such an amazing job of building like this really cool thing that we have. And then they don't know about software. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know I could track keywords. What do you mean I should be tracking keywords? So those are really fun conversations, because it's just like light bulb after light bulb after light bulb after light bulb when you start talking to them.
So just using Helium 10, it's opening people's eyes to what are some of the possible things they could be doing on Amazon to boost their own sales. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, yeah. So, part of that automation is applicable to like PPC. So we have a new PPC tool that was released this year called, it was kind of re-released. We bought a company called Prestazon. We acquired them and their people, and we kind of merged our two PPC softwares into this beautiful thing called Atomic. And, you don't want to completely automate something like PPC, because you don't want to set it and forget it kind of thing. But you get to look at a lot of data points quickly to make a decision. And that's the name of the game right there, is making quick decisions with accurate information.
Right.
So so like you could, especially at a certain scale, if let's say you're spending $10,000 a month on PPC, maybe you can find, like, you can go in there and trim the fat. You can go in there and decide, well, these keywords I'm spending money on them, but they're not converting. So let's not spend money on them, or at least reduce the spend. And then you can look at the keywords like, I'm getting sales from advertising with these keywords. Let's throw a little bit more money towards it.
So it's almost you can definitely save money to your existing business with Helium 10 by reducing your costs and or getting more for the same cost, right? Like that's clearly a benefit of having the software.
Absolutely. So we have another tool called REFUND GENIE, and what that does is essentially looks for it can help you run a report about every month, and it will give you a report to give to Amazon to say, hey, I've got this lost and or damaged inventory that I need reimbursement. So that's really nice too, because again, at a certain scale, you don't have time to pour over these reports and line by line of like, well, Amazon owes me this or whatever. Like, you know that Amazon lost like 3 boxes of your inventory 90 days ago, or last month, but I just don't have time. You can go through REFUND GENIE, click a button. You can do it about once a month now. So Amazon changed things a couple of years ago with that kind of those kind of requests. So yeah, like
but that's just straight getting paid, right? I mean, so with REFUND GENIE, it allows you to see what money Amazon owes you, and then you essentially ask them for it, and they just give it to you. So it's like getting free money out of your Amazon account.
Getting the money that Amazon owes you. Let's put it that way.
Getting the money that Amazon owes you. So if you've been selling on Amazon, there's quite possible that Amazon could owe you money that you don't even know about. And using REFUND GENIE, which is built into Amazon Helium 10, you could claim some of the money that Amazon owes you.
Yes.
I mean, who wouldn't want that? They owe you the money.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the Repo Man. You could call it Helium 10 Repo Man for Amazon users.
REFUND GENIE sounds a little better. I think we're gonna stick with that name.
You never know.
The Repo Man has a bit of negative connotation, so I do appreciate the idea, though.
Yeah. So, Barcus, what are some other common questions that new users that haven't used Helium 10 before that they ask you?
If they've never, I guess if they're new to Helium 10, I guess they want to know, like, what are the things that I should be doing first? And I'm a big nerd about keywords, because, the more places that your listing exists at the top of page 1 for on Amazon, then it's more real estate on Amazon. So the more real estate you have on Amazon, the better your business is going to be. So my first thing you should do once your account's set up is just track all the keywords that you can about your listing. You don't need to track 10,000 keywords, because realistically, out of 10,000, you're only going to really convert on a handful of those, even the best listings in the world. So you don't need to track thousands of them, which is great, but man, at least track 250 on a listing, and you can start to sort them by search volume. You can sort them search volume. You can sort them by sales trends. You can sort them by all these different filters, and you can start to make decisions too based on that information. And you can also track again your competitors. You can throw your competitors listing in there and track their keywords too, and you can start to compare as well. It's like man, they're at the page 1 for these 3 keywords, and they've got decent search volume. And
so if you can track your competitors' keywords and you can find keywords that would apply to your listings, then that means you could essentially use Helium 10 to identify bad listings and just destroy your competition with your own great product, right?
Yeah. So
in a way, not to be.
Well, no. I mean, look, it's all
business, right?
You're not trying to destroy anybody necessarily, but just be better than them. A popular strategy with using keyword tracking and PPC data is you can identify a very similar product like yours, but maybe their reviews are like 3.5 stars. Their images their listing could be doing a lot better. Yeah. You go on there and you run a product display ad, basically the PPC ad that shows up on the Amazon listing of a competing product. And a lot of people have success with that, because you're basically showing them somebody's ready to buy that product if they're on that page. they're looking to buy something like that right now. So if you show them a better offer, I've got better reviews, and I'm a little bit cheaper, and my images are better. Like those are all major converting factors for any marketplace. So yeah.
What about if you don't know who your competitors are? So let's say, I have chocolate company, right?
Yep.
5-leaf chocolate, and we have dark chocolate, 70%, and it's plated in 24 karat gold. You've seen this before. How would I use Helium 10 to identify who's my competition? Because maybe you don't know who your competition is, right?
Sure. So you could do that a couple of different ways. The first way and the easiest way is if you're selling anything on Amazon, you probably know the top 2 or 3 keywords for your product in terms of search volume.
Chocolate.
Put those in there. Look at the top 10 results for each of those keywords on Amazon, just manually searching for them on Amazon. And then you'll probably see some overlapping listings. So that's your competition. That's probably most of it right there. But you can also
chocolate bar, dark chocolate, gold-plated chocolate.
Yeah. So you can also use our X-Ray, which is our Chrome extension that comes with your Helium 10 subscription.
Okay.
But from there, so you go on Amazon, you put in a keyword, and you wait. Once the search results are on there, you click X-Ray, and it will give you all of this data. It will give you the ASIN, how many sellers, the brand name, the manufacturer, not the brand name, all the listing details. You can look at BSR trends. You can look at sales trends. You can look at review velocity, and then you start to really decide like these 3 players are the top players in the garden hose category, and then you're like, okay, those are the top 3, and maybe you don't want to maybe you can't compete at the top 3. And that's okay. Like maybe they're doing $250,000 a month, and you're like, I'm doing $20,000. I can't compete with them right now, and that's okay. But I can get in the top 10. So maybe I'm trying to compete with 5, 6, 7, 8 because they're all around 35,000. I can get there. I can compete with them. So then that's what I identify. Like that's my competition, right?
So you kind of like take out the low hanging fruit, creep up on them, creep up into those search terms.
It all depends. So like, I've got a lot of friends like me that have bootstrapped a business before, and, I can't throw 20 grand a month at PPC, but, I know companies that are spending 6 figures on PPC. So their competition is 1, 2, and 3 for their search results because they can just throw gas on the fire when it comes to something like PPC or email campaigns or social media ads. So then at that point, it's like, who can just spend the most amount of money the quickest, right? But yeah, so like if you're bootstrapped, right? If you're limited by capital to a certain extent, which we all are, right? I wouldn't go after number 1, 2, or 3 if they're just making 10 times more than I am. It doesn't make sense to try to compete with them because you just can't. But you can slowly move up the ranks. Get into a healthy place on page 1 is better than getting to the top and then dropping back down. That just doesn't look good. Just on your Amazon listing algorithmically, like it's just, you do that slow creep and, stack that capital. Maybe in a year you're getting to that point. Maybe in a year you're number 4, number 5, maybe less than that. Then you can start competing with the big boys.
What about if you're number 1? How would Helium 10 assist you then? So you're number 1 for your product. You're beating out all your competition. You have mastered the keywords, right? Yeah. Now you're going to use Helium 10 to do what? And how will that help you to obviously stay at number 1, but how do you expand even further? Yeah.
So you're not number 1 on every single keyword, right? But let's just say as an example, my garden hose is number 1, 2, and 3 for all the top keywords. So what I would be doing is, hopefully at this point I've already done this, but product research. What other types of garden hoses? Do people need different lengths? Do people like different colors? Like look at the product research. Do people like the blue garden hoses and the yellow ones or the orange ones or the beige ones? Like,
product variations.
Yeah. So do they like, I'm a lawn guy. So I need all the different fittings, and I need something to hold my garden hose, right? So start selling all these complementary products. So people that buy the garden hose typically are going to buy these types of products. So product research, right? But for that specific product, if it's number one, let's look at the top 10 keywords. Am I number 5 or have I dropped off? What keywords can I improve there? But also, if I'm up there, I've got the capital to spend and go after a lot of low volume keywords and just take over. Because people do pay attention, like a lot of businesses selling on Amazon, they pay attention to low volume keywords, but not as much as the highest ones. And that makes sense, right? But if I've got that capital, I could just dominate all these low volume keywords. So maybe you find like 100 keywords. I'm not doing great. I'm not on page 1, but I've got the money. So those keywords don't cost as much, right? But there's less competition. So maybe all these keywords, maybe there's 100 keywords you identified. Like I could probably be aggressive with these, and you'll probably convert on 50 or 60 of them. But then what if that turns into another 100 sales a day if you're at the top of page 1 for all of those? So just really trying to just take as much of that market as you can.
So you can expand your market. If you're already a market leader, you can use Helium 10 to expand the market through identifying some areas that you're not already dominating, right? I guess you could use that for product expansion as well, right? So if you're the number 1 garden hose manufacturer supplier on Amazon, there's basically a number 1 for every product there, right? Then you could look at what other complementary products. So maybe it's the attachment that you put on the hose. Maybe it's the length of the hose, as you mentioned, different colors, different materials, different functionality. You could have attachment systems that go into a hose. You could have maybe different materials flowing through it. We're all thinking garden hoses. They transport water, but maybe you get into chocolate hoses. You can transport liquid chocolate, right? There's all kinds of different things that you could do using Helium 10 by looking at the data. So Helium 10 is essentially a data tool. Outside of data, is there any things that any of those 27, 28 tools that are not data centric?
Yeah, so we've got, if you in our analytics tool, we've got a profits dashboard where you can look quickly at, what's my trending profit or loss, which is important to look at just as much as your profits, because maybe you can identify, man, there's this one product that's just not, it's just not doing anything. I can't get it in the green. I can't get it in the black. I'm constantly losing money. But maybe you have 250 SKUs or more than that, and you just can't look through all of the spreadsheets in Amazon Seller Central. It's like that's a real quick and easy place to find something like that. We also have a couple of things in our operations as far as we have inventory management, where you can go in there and essentially you can put your manufacturer in there. So if you've got 1, 2, or 3 different manufacturers, you can actually go in there and create POs and order right from Helium 10. You can stay in there and be like, oh, I need to order more of this. Inventory management will give you alerts like based on your sales velocity, month over month, and then also trending day by day. It's like, hey, this is going through the roof. You need to order right now. Yeah.
You wouldn't want to run out of inventory if it's selling through what you've got, right? So
it's the worst thing.
Can you choose that? Can you choose how that's communicated to you? Like, can you get it sent to instant message, or can you get it sent to your text message, or is that by email only?
Email and text.
What kind of communication choices do you have with Helium 10?
Email and text. So we have a pretty comprehensive alerts tool, and you can be alerted on several different things. But yeah, through email and text.
And it's like this is a powerful tool, right? And it's many tools in one from one company. Helium 10's the company, right? How we had talked a little bit earlier about people learning more about it through the Project X, but is there some built-in ways to learn about Helium 10 within Helium 10, like
absolutely
learning tools? Or support? Is there one-on-one online support, chat support, or how does that work?
We've got 24/7 support through chat. 24/7. They're there every single day. The teams obviously rotate.
Yeah.
We have constant support.
Can you imagine one person?
It's
we have this one guy in Helium 10, and he's there 24 hours a day. He's been working for 6 years straight. He's broken all the world records for sleep. He will text back 17,000 clients simultaneously. One guy.
It's Richie, one guy. We don't ever give him a break. eyes are glued to the computer screen. But yeah, 24/7 chat support. But we also have included in your Helium 10 subscription is access to a Freedom Ticket, which is a course that was created by Kevin King. And we're actually in the middle of redoing all that with Kevin King now. Because as everything changes, Amazon changes too. So, but this is an in-depth course of, like, again, if you've never sold anything online before, he talks about business structure, like how you should set those things up. Gives you some options. He's not telling you like this is how you do it. But
how much does that course normally cost?
I think
sounds like an in-depth course, right?
Well, I think he used to sell it for $1,000.
So with a Helium 10 subscription, you get access to basically $1,000 course that was $1,000 at some point.
Correct.
And it's included with your Helium 10 at all levels?
Correct. Mm-hmm. Our Helium 10 Elite plans. So those include, so every quarter we have a workshop that's a day long. I think we're actually doing for Q3, I think that we're doing our first in-person one since COVID, since everything. But we've been doing them virtually for the past year and a half. But anyway, it's a day-long course. We have high-level people coming in from our community, but also outside of the community to come in and speak, and it's actionable knowledge. It's not just like, oh, this is my success story. That's part of it, but it's like, this is how you need to do this. This is how you need to run Facebook ads. And they break things down, and you get access to all those recordings in a special Facebook group. So that's, I mean, that
you said there's a live event for that coming up. When is that live event and where is it located? Do you know?
It's to be determined. I don't know the date. I think they're hoping to do it in Irvine at the office.
That's in California.
So, correct.
In the United States. For, this is a global audience. We have people from all over the world. Not everybody knows all the cities. We're on a first name basis. So, Barcus, how long are you in Vegas for?
The 13th to the 16th.
Okay. And so people can meet you live on the floor. You'll be around, right? You also mentioned you'll be at the lunch and breakfast as part of Prosper. And then there's also the kickoff party.
Yeah.
Right? You'll be at, people should want to meet with you in person. We just spend some time together.
I was saying that, I'll definitely, I just said I'm not missing out on the breakfast and lunch.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And then there's also the event, which is happening on the 13th in the evening. And that's going to be at Park MGM. And which is it's kind of across the street from MGM Grand, downtown. I guess it's Paradise, technically. It's not in Las Vegas. It's kind of funny that the Vegas Strip is not actually in Vegas. It's in Paradise. But yeah, in Las Vegas on the Strip, the MGM Grand is there, and then Park MGM is just across the street, which is where your event's going to be. Cool. And it's going to be at a secret location because it's a speakeasy, and that's kind of how they work.
It's not a secret. It's okay. You're from Canada. You don't understand how speakeasies work, but it's not a secret location. We gave you the address. Just buy a ticket.
Well, no, I mean, by tuning into the live stream, they know where it is, but that's kind of the meaning of, because it says in your listing here, right? It says the speakeasy. I'm like, I don't know what it's talking about. But yeah, it's on the record at the Park MGM.
Correct.
Yeah. For the super detailed note takers, that's at 3770 South Las Vegas Boulevard, Las Vegas, Nevada. Barcus.
Yes.
Are you ready for the review? First of all, have you seen any of these live streams? Because we've been doing them every single day between now and Prosper.
I haven't. No, I haven't seen any of them. I'm sorry. I should be watching them, but
no, that's okay. I'm gonna invite you to go watch the other ones. And at the end of every live stream, I have a recap. Right? It captures all the different things that we talked about throughout the whole time. Okay. And it's like the review. I call it the review, but it's also, I think it's kind of fun because it's very fast. I'm trying to cover everything very quickly just to recap what we talked about, right?
Okay.
So it can take sometimes between 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
Are you ready for the review?
Yes.
Okay.
5 stars.
Here comes the review.
Rebate after review.
Okay. I'm here with Barcus Patty, who is a brand evangelist with Helium 10. And today we talked about the Prosper Conference, which is happening in Las Vegas, Nevada, on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Now, if you're not familiar with Helium 10 already, we talked about it. What is Helium 10? It's a tool, which is really a set of tools. In fact, 27, 28 tools in one source for all of those. It's a wide set of tools that can help you with things like PPC, product research, listings, and automation. There is a Project X, which is done with Tim Jordan in 2020. The content was released. The software saves you time. Really, any software saves you time. We talked about that. There's an example of one of the tools within Helium 10 is the black box, and it allows you to do product research. It's a product research tool. There's also CERYBRO, which is a reverse ASIN tool. There's Audience, which is one of the newer tools within Helium 10, and it's a partnership between PICKFU and Helium 10, so it brings you their audience. We talked a little bit about Paul Barron, and if you don't know familiar with Paul Barron, you should look into his name and the baby products that he has. We mentioned that Helium 10 may be coming and adding some Walmart functionality. Coming soon, no details, but we talked about that. We talked about using data for omni-channel listings, again, tying into that Walmart connection, which hasn't been announced yet. It's part of Barcus's letting things slip.
It's at our Helium 10 speakeasy.
There you go. The Helium 10, we talked about how that could be integrated in with Google Trends in terms of getting data and learning about the marketplaces that you're on. It's perfect for both beginners and private label sellers or advanced sellers as well, of course. We talked about that. Helium 10 can have what's called seats, which allows you to bring in multiple people on your team, whether it's a virtual assistant, a staff member, or maybe an agency or somebody you're working with. There's different levels of plans for Helium 10. You mentioned there's 3 levels, and then you also said there's an enterprise solution. So you can learn about that. We talked about it a little bit. Helium 10 for Rock Out on the Record is a private event that Helium 10 is hosting. It's now $69 for one ticket, and that's happening at Park MGM. We talked about what is the speakeasy. It was a little confusing, but go watch the replay and you'll learn about it. We talked about the Prosper Show, again, July 13th, 14th, and 15th. And the kickoff event for Helium 10 is on the July 13th, is the first day before the sessions happen, which the sessions are all on the 14th and 15th. We talked about some of the questions that Helium 10 users have, both before, current, and people are interested in Helium 10. Helium 10 gives you an edge over your competition. We talked about how that can happen. We talked about Adtomic, again, another component of Helium 10. For finding new PPC tools. It's a new PPC tool in Helium 10. Sorry, there's a review. So we just talked live, so I have zero time to think about this. Refund GENIE, not called the repo, has nothing to do with repo, but basically it allows you to request access to money that Amazon owes you, like a GENIE might give you money if you ask it for the money. We talked about keywords, mastering those with Helium 10. It's definitely that. This is the review. I'm Jacob Topping. This is Barcus Patty from Helium 10. Barcus, any final thoughts or any things that maybe some bonus tips that you want to let people know before we go?
Oh, man. I'm just going to go with my de facto one. Is always, and I talked about it a little bit, always look for low to medium volume keywords that they still have some decent search volume, because again, they're low competition. That means not a lot of Amazon businesses are looking at them. So you might be able to find a couple that you convert well on, and it could add to your daily sales average.
Getting more traffic to your listings, those people going to your listings would want to buy your items. More sales,
absolutely.
Hopefully profitable sales.
Yeah.
Now, I forgot to mention in the review, we also have the ability to do live comments. So if you're still watching live, please do leave a comment. Rana Singh came on and said, "Oh my gosh, here comes the review." And then the recap of the review only. And then the post of the review segment. Barcus Patties, you're the only hope for getting us out of here if the power goes out. Oh, Rana, I love your comments. They're the best. I like them a lot. And they're also surprising. So Barcus, that was, again, another reference. Rana's very good with the inside jokes. When I was talking with Brandon Young, the power went out. And that was the end of the live stream because I was hosting the live stream. The power went out at my house. So he was on live himself. And then he went on, and then the power came back on, but the live stream was still running. It runs even if you turn your computer off. Yeah. And so So then I came back on afterwards, and it was really funny. Good times. Anyways, we do live streams every day right now until Prosper. This is Barcus Patty. Barcus, I had a blast with you in Las Vegas last time. As I recall, we went out to a secret location. Are you okay if I mention where we went?
I don't remember where we went. So all I remember is we all got breakfast/dinner at 3 a.m. At some restaurant. And I think Sean proposed to the waitress. He does that quite a bit. So
that's true. I've heard he's a very outgoing personality, very exciting. Sean works with Helium 10 as well. And if you're going to the Prosper Show or the Empowery Women's Conference, which is happening immediately following the Prosper Show, will Sean be at either of those?
Sean's going to be in Prosper. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I don't know if he's
Sean
going to
as
be
well.
in Empowery. Yep.
Okay. And we went to that place that had like swimming pools. It was nighttime.
We went to some
dancing
club. Yeah, well, we all ended up sitting outside and just talking about Amazon like a bunch of old people. You know,
it was pretty epic though.
It's not my cup of tea. I just enjoyed hanging out with everybody. But yeah, it was all us and Ned and Tony and everybody else. So it was a good time. So
there was Ned's wife, myself, yourself. Sean was there. Alex was there.
Oh, yeah. Alex and Sophia, they were there.
Sophia as well from the UK / Canada. And that was good.
Tony.
I'm going to end the live stream because this is just me and Barcus talking
we're
right
just,
now. So
we're just catching
Barcus,
up, yeah.
You stay on, and I'm going to end
All
the stream. Guys, if you haven't already, definitely go and check out the event that you can register for, the Rock Out on the Record. That is sponsored by Helium 10, and there's a link in the. If you're watching this, there's a link in the thing that you're watching on to it, so you can go check that out. Anyways, thanks for joining us, and Barcus, stay on for a minute. We're gonna have a quick chat afterwards. Thank you for all replay viewers as well. I recommend now is the perfect time to hit the share button and spread the information with people you know.
I've already done it.
Do you want to say any final goodbyes to the
Just
people?
now, I hope I get to see people and make some new friends and see some old ones. And thanks as always for letting me come in and just ramble for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good having you. All right, take care, audience, people that are live.